Hello, everyone, and welcome back again. Bucs UK TV episode 70. It's a bumper crop this week with Phil, David, Adam, and Pete joining me to do the first part of our predictions. So as if you're a member, you'll already know that each year we do a survey. We ask all our members to go online and say who they think is going to win each of the games in the Bucs schedule, and these are the results. And each of our pundits have also put their reputations on the line with their picks as well. So we'll see if you agree with this. Let us know in the comments. Make sure you give us a thumbs up, or don't give us a thumbs down if you don't agree with them, but maybe just comment. And make sure you obviously like and subscribe and follow us on all the socials. So guys, we'll dive straight in, and I'll just do my screen share. Okay, so just a reminder, this is what the Bucs schedule looks like. Opening with the Cowboys, on the road again to the Saints, 3 games at home, Packers, Chiefs, Falcons, away to the Steelers, the Panthers, and then home, Ravens and Rams, and that's where we'll finish it off. Part 2, Alex will be taking us through next week, part 2 of the schedule. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 primetime games. Going overseas, it's going to be a hectic schedule. Everyone wants to see Brady once again. A few early games in that first half of the season, which you don't tend to see, certainly not the home games. So we'll kick off against the Cowboys, which it seems like we're playing the Cowboys every week, first in the season, every year. So as you can see, Phil and myself, a bit of a pessimistic start to the season, but 3/4 of our members think this is going to be a win. Adam, I can see you nodding. Is this a walkover or a bit more tricky?
I wouldn't say a walkover, but I know we played them in week 1 last year, and I think it's going to be pretty much the same type of game and the same outcome, like a mini shootout almost. I'm slightly more concerned now that we've had a few more injuries during the preseason, but I still believe that we're going to win this.
David, you seem confident.
Yeah, I mean, I think last season I was a lot more confident about this result, and it turned out to be quite a game. The only thing I'm really thinking is this is the opening of the season, Sunday night football, Tom on prime time after all the being away for weeks, and he's going to show up and just show everybody he's still got it. So, yeah, I see us kicking off with a victory in Dallas.
But Phil, not so optimistic. Why is that, do you reckon?
I just think there's a lot more work to do yet. I just feel that, especially with now we've got all the injuries on the offensive line, and also the Dallas team especially the defense, is a much better team than people give them credit for. I think we could be a bit rusty, slow out the starting box, and I think we're gonna lose the opener.
I unfortunately agree with you, but luckily the Bucs UK faithful disagree. So it's officially 1-0, and we move on to week 2. Pete, we'll come to you first in week 2. It's the Saints. It feels like we can't buy a win against the Saints in the regular season, but you're confident it's going to be there. How's that going to pan out?
I feel more confident this year with when I haven't got Sean Payton. I feel a lot more confident that even if they've still got the same playbook, we should be in a situation where maybe they haven't got the same sort of trick plays, because that's what he seemed to get us with him, is that he seemed to just take us by surprise with something that got them a touchdown without us even knowing what was going on. So yeah, this year I feel a lot more confident. They seem a bit more all over the place. Winston, is he going to stay healthy? All that sort of stuff. So, no, I do feel more confident against the Saints again this year.
Yeah, you mentioned Winston. He's definitely going to want to get stuck in and eat as many WUs as he possibly can. We're only 2 games in, and David's the only one that can keep tabs with the Bucs UK members forecast. Only 40% think we're going to win, so the consensus for this, David, is a loss, like you say.
I just think it's second game in a row on the road early in the season. Frustratingly, they seem to have a number in regular season, and hey, I'm all right with that. If we beat them in the playoffs, doesn't worry me at all. So yeah, it just seems to be one of those games that we always struggle on. So we'll just take it, wipe ourselves down, and move on to another win.
We're going to smash them.
Yeah,
100%. We're going to smash.
Far?
There's no way Brady's going to lose to this team. How many ever times? I know we beat him in the playoffs, but regular season, there's no way he's going to lose to him. And if there's any game I think the player is going to be self-motivated to win, it's going to be this game. I just feel like they need to get this monkey off their back, and they're going to smash the Saints this year. I think they're going to sweep them easy. That's just my
Feels like
feelings.
they need to go back to the opening game, Brady against the Saints. That very first drive, we just marched all the way down the field. It started so beautifully with the reign of our Lord, the Tom Brady, and since then it all went a bit wonky, didn't it? So yeah, so I think we're the Bucs UK faithful aren't so sure. We won't talk about my 2Ls so far, especially not when we come on to then the next big game on the schedule, which is the Packers. Just putting it out here, guys. If they actually know when to kick a field goal and can cover Scotty Miller, history looks quite different. Pete, you agree with me for once. Not
Yeah.
17-0 for you this year.
No, I don't know what it is. It's not. I don't really know why I've got this feeling that we're going to lose this one to Green Bay. I just feel that they're going to be more up for it. We're coming off 2 road games. I just feel like this year maybe we're just not going to have it. We're just going to have something missing when it comes to this game, and they're going to Rodgers. Even though he's not got a lot of weapons at the minute, it seems like I just got this feeling that they're going to do us.
Well, I'm hoping the ground game runs because I've just drafted both their running backs 10 minutes ago in our fantasy football draft. So other than that, but Adam, you know your Halo's just taken a bit of a dink. Why do you think this is going to be a?
Yeah, well, I just think we're going to emotionally come off a massive game against the Saints, and I just think there might either be some false confidence or just mentally drained. And let's be honest, Aaron Rodgers is still an absolutely brilliant player. So I just think that if there's a slight lapse in concentration, this might be the game that we need to lose almost to kick us back into our winning mentality. So I've just got this down. It could have been any of these 4 games, if I'm honest, but we just need one of these games. I think it's going to kick us in the right direction if we lose this.
I think that's a fair point. Phil, I can see you've got this down as a win. Do you agree with Adam? Do you think Brady's going to have the better of the 2 quarterback records by the end of it?
Yes, definitely. Having come off a great win at New Orleans, I can't believe 39% that we're going to lose. Only going to win. No, I think we'll beat the Packers. I honestly do. I think it's a big game, and Aaron Rodgers is a very good quarterback, but he's not very good with Vita Vea hanging around his neck. So no, I'm quite confident about this. I honestly think we're going to take our hit against the Cowboys. We'll galvanise us, and then off we'll go. I think we'll win both the next 2 games after that. So yeah, I think we'll beat them easily.
A good mention of Vita Vea. I wouldn't want to be the person that told him he didn't make the NFL top 100 players.
No, me neither.
Quite frankly, I think he deserves 2 slots.
Yeah, well, some of the players in there, beggars belief.
You're right, Pete. Godwin as well. He's obviously going to come back, I think, with well, for us, nothing to prove, but maybe for the rest of the league, something to prove.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I think this game is, we thought we'd retired Rodgers once. We're going to do it this time. And Brady's going to show the true MVP is.
I think we all know, you're right. We need to see it. I think for me, this is key that it's a home game. Anytime you go to Lambeau and they're all banging their things on the thing and jumping around and wearing cheese on their heads, it always gets a bit excitable. And I'm really hoping that the new stand that they've put up over the other end to the pirate ship, more fans, more noise. I think it's going to be a really, really loud day for the stadium, especially as it's a late game. Again, we don't want to see everyone scorching in the sun. I thought this one was going to be a primetime game, but it turns out they wanted the week after instead. Rather than it being the championship round rematch, they want to have the Super Bowl rematch against the Chiefs. Sunday night football again, so that's another late night for us in the UK.
Please don't tell me it's a loss. Oh!
Only 37% of the members think we're going to win this. And you'll have noticed I've got 4 L's. I would be surprised if we lost all 4 of these. But, I think, when everyone looked at the schedule when it first came out, you must agree, when you looked at these first 4 games, it was a baptism of fire, wasn't it, David?
Yeah, I think it was. And I think, really, I've put win 2, lose 2, and I'd be quite happy with that in whichever shape it comes. I think, get past these first 4 games, and I think that'll set us up. If we've got 2 wins in the bag by then, that'd be great.
Pete, you're nodding. You thought 3-1 at this point. What do you think's going to happen against the Chiefs?
I think that they've lost some of their key players. He hasn't got Tyreek Hill now, so I think that Mahomes won't have that safety net of that long ball. And I really feel that this year the defence is going to come alive again. I know we had injuries with Sue, we had injuries with JPP. Last year we didn't seem to really get off the blocks very fast and get to the quarterback. Whereas I'm feeling this year JTS will be absolutely rampant, and I just think that we're going to be on Mahomes again. We know what they tend to try and play like, so I think we're going to be all over him.
Yes, Pete.
Now, because when in the Super Bowl they'd lost a couple of linemen, and they've shored up those slots now, haven't they?
Yeah, but I just think that the package that we're going to be playing, we're just going to be breaking through. We're a lot more with we're bringing Winfield into contention, into that blitz package. I just think we're going to have so many more looks this year with speed to really get after people.
Yeah, especially Todd Bowles with his safety magic. He just loves these crazy blitz packages. So yeah, exactly like you said, let's hope we can keep Mahomes running like he was in the blinking Super Bowl.
I mean, I think of all the first 4 games, this is the one where our secondary is most likely to be tested, and to really see if they've learned the scheme and the adjustments and the communications there.
Before we go on, Kieron.
Yeah.
4 L's.
It's almost like I run the Bucs UK fan club, isn't it?
I can't believe it. There's one more L there for you.
Yes.
And there's this one, the most important L.
Loyalty.
What's going on?
That's smart, Adam.
I can only think that, Kieron, you must have been doing this predictions when you were doing your tax return. That's the only thing I can put it down to, this one.
Do you know, it's true. It gets better as we go on.
I was going to say, I better see a W soon.
I really hope I'm wrong. But do you know what? Even if this does happen, I still think we make the playoffs. I think we haven't come on to any, other than the Saints, we haven't come on to a divisional game yet. And I think this is, normally we're worried about how we do in our division. I think the division this year is the thing we don't have to worry about. I think it's all the other games we do have to worry about. I hope I'm wrong. Part of this is is me waiting for Munich. I've not seen the Bucs win outside of Florida. 3 games in London. I'm going to Munich. I'm going to be drinking a lot of Kieron bombs if we don't get ourselves off the mark. Actually, I will if we do as well.
If we do, yeah.
So maybe it's reverse psychology for me. I don't know. But yeah, I don't want to be right. Let's put it that way. So then on to the Falcons. We don't need to dwell there too long.
100%.
Yeah, I think if it could go above 100%, it probably would have done for this game. Maybe also for week 18. I think this is the consensus easiest game of the year, everyone's saying, aren't they, David?
Well, I hope so. And, this is our game watch in London. So after last year, we really want a good result for our members. So this is the game we've got to win, and win big.
And if I wanted to come to that game watch, David, what would I need to do?
Get on the forum, click the link, and buy some tickets. On sale, £6 a head. Get in there, get booked, and we can't wait to see everyone.
Get in the boat. Get in the boat.
Absolutely.
In the boat.
Adam, we talk sometimes about trap games. Could this be a trap game?
No. Trap, I don't think you can class the Falcons. They're in a total rebuild, aren't they? Total rebuild. They don't know what Marcus Mariotta's going to do. I don't think they know what half the squad is going to do. So I think they're going to be still feeling their way by week 5. And I think we're going to be just kicking off into our, super Brady playing style. So I don't know. I just, I can't see us losing this game in any fashion.
And all those parallel universes are out there. The Bucs win in all of them. I like it. Pete, obviously, Julio Jones will be putting on the pads for the Bucs against the Falcons for the first time. How do you think that's going to pan out?
think he's going to take full advantage of it, and he's going to want to have a big game. He's going to show that he's still got it. He went to the Titans for a bit, but he was injured a bit there and never really got to show his full potential again. So I think, hopefully for us, he's stayed healthy in those first 4 games, and he's going to want to walk all over him and show why he should have still been there.
Yeah, I'm a betting man, and I think I'm going to be sticking a few quid on Julio Jones in the red zone. Maybe 2 touchdowns against the Falcons. I'd like to see what those odds are.
I mean, I think your odds are going to be pretty sucky, aren't they?
I know, specifically for that game. Yeah,
It could
Still
well
might
be
fancy it,
0 to 100 rather than the other way around. What the Bucs UK vote calling it. But
It'd be interesting in a shutout. I still want to see a shutout, so that'd be good.
So good, wouldn't it?
Oh, I've seen one
that.
against the Falcons. I was over in Tampa, came back home. It was written miserable, so I just booked a went back the weekend after and saw us shut out the Falcons. It was lovely.
Oh, sounds
I hate the
perfect.
Falcons for some reason. I remember a game in 2014, and it was 52-0 by halftime.
That was the game
my
of the week
birthday
that everyone
weekend as well.
quit on Raheem Morris, wasn't it?
That's right. Yeah, birthday weekend. I just wanted to cry, thinking, what's going on here? So every time we played the Falcons since then, I'm desperate for a shutout, or at least a big 40, 50-pointer.
I think probably Brady's going to want to make it 28-3, surely.
This is probably the week Gronk starts getting the itch to come back as well.
Yeah. Don't tease now. Don't tease.
Yeah.
And then I think actually all of the games we kind of know who we're playing at this point, and then we come on to the Steelers, and I feel like the Steelers is probably the team we know least so far. They're a team in change, I think, as well, in transition. Who knows whether they're transitioning up or down, because they were teetering back in the Big Ben days. Let's start with you, Phil. 4/5 of the Bucs UK say we're going to win this game, but you got it down as a loss.
Yeah, I've got this feeling about this game. As soon as I saw the schedule, that was the one that stuck out for me. I've just got a feeling that we're not going to do it on this game. It was a bit like the Redskin Washington game last year. Sorry, boys. That was about the Washington game.
Commanders.
Yeah. Well, whatever they called. The
Washington Hootenannies.
Yeah, they're the ones. I just got a feeling that this is going to be a banana skin for us. I really do. You don't know which team, like something you just said, which Steelers team is going to turn up. They are in transition, but they've still got Mike Tomlin. He's a wily old fox. And
we're on the road.
Yeah, on the road. I just don't fancy this one at all. I think this is going to be a banana skin, this one.
Pete, tell him why he's wrong.
Because we're going to just basically be bullhawks the whole game. They're going to throw so many interceptions in this game that we are just going to be running up the score on defense without even having Evans and people needing to even be on the field, because the defense is just going to keep running the ball back. It doesn't seem to matter who their quarterback's going to be. Both of them, Trubisky and Kenny Pitts. What's his name?
Pickett. Kenny Pickett.
Kenny Pickett. Both of them seem to be throwing interceptions. So I think we're going to be picking them off left, right, and centre. Our defense is going to be all over them again. I think this year, like I say, I think our defense is going to be the winners of this season for us.
I was surprised earlier today that we've cut Logan, but there's talk about trying to do some weird contract things with him because he's a vested veteran, so we can get him back on the team while we're shuffling Jensen off to IR. Do you think who are the sort of the key players you think are going to be the difference this year on defense? Then
I think the Keanu Neal. I think he's going to just that sort of veteran, like with Logan Ryan, that veteran feel of because we've got some people like Bunting and Edwards that are sort of, they've been around, but I feel they needed that little bit of presence that we were hoping that Sherman was going to bring, but he never really seemed to get in. He should have come on as back as a coach, I think. But I think that veteran leadership is just going to help shore everyone up so they feel more comfortable in their role and grow and develop like they should have.
Yeah. David, do you think we'll be able to score on the Steelers? They're not the D of old, are they?
No, they're not. Like I say, you just don't know what you're going to get with the Steelers this year. Are they up, down? it's just a mystery. And I think, one of the big things about, it's a fresh start season for everybody. The fact that we even rested 47 players in the first pre-season, this whole team is largely already there. It's already trusted. I think we'll get the early cobwebs out, and then we'll be on a roll. I'd say. I think JTS is going to have a big year. I think he's looking better and better every week, and I think that's going to be a huge positive on the defense this year.
That's true. Rock Riley said that last week on our podcast. Go back and look. Rock Riley, episode 69. Available where all good podcasts reside. Okay, so then we'll go on to the Falcons. Now, obviously, last year we didn't play the Falcons until week 33 and week. Sorry, we go on to the Panthers because last year we didn't play the Panthers till week 33 and week 34. It felt like. So we're going to finally get them this year. The Bucs UK faithful, I think that's everyone apart from 3 people from memory, said it was going to be a walkover. Phil, do you agree with that?
Totally. This is a team that's lost some very key players. And quarterback, they're all over the place. So I think we're going to beat these easily. No problem.
Adam, they've still got CMC, haven't they? And I don't mean the music factory.
Run CMC. I don't know. We talk about trap games. Now this could be one of those. I don't think it's going to be a trap game, but it's got the makings as if we're going to take them too easily. And Baker Mayfield, who knows? He might be really struggling and need a desperately big game. Or Sam Darnold might be coming back in. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? And again, I don't want to keep banging on about Bucs injuries, but this time last year we were scrambling for players. We didn't know who was coming in, so we don't know what state we're going to be in. We could be super injured. We could be perfectly fit. So, I personally can't write it off as just an obvious win. But I still think we're going to win. I still think we're going to win quite comfortably. But I just don't know. It's got the makings of a possible trap game.
We've been sat on the forum too many times for too many years. It's always a heart attack till the end, isn't it, Pete?
Yeah, every time. I'm hoping that this isn't. But Adam's got a great point. You never know how Baker could suddenly just slot into this team perfectly. I mean, I haven't actually looked at their pre-season, but he could find great form and just pull it out of the bag against us. Could be that one game where he just absolutely finds everything he needs. I don't rate the Panthers as much as we once did, because they are a team. They're a team in transition again that have got a lot of players to find. So I feel this will be maybe not an easy win, but I feel it's definitely going to be a win.
And McCaffrey, he was hurt last year for a lot of the year, wasn't he? And he wasn't the player he was when he came back. I'm not convinced that he's going to be the force he was in his rookie year at all. No. So I wouldn't be too concerned about him.
Yeah, I mean, I think they'll try and put a lot on him early in the season, and he is injury prone. And I think by the time we get to week 7, he might not even be there.
Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, I don't know the Panthers as well as I know probably the Falcons and the Saints, but I do rate their receiving core. So I kind of feel like that CMC and the receiving threat, it's like you said, Pete, it's going to be a lot down on how our secondary do it, how Todd Bowles calls it. If we are still in the no risk it, no biscuit, we're trying to jump up and get the ball at the highest point, but it goes over. I feel like there could be some big plays. Ironically, I think this one is lurking away and it could be a shootout. I don't think anyone's going to stop the Bucs on the Panthers side of the ball, but I do think it could be interesting. Luckily, it's another early game.
I think a lot does hinge on us staying healthy. This whole centres problem that we're having. If we lose another centre, then we could be in a lot of trouble. And even if we lose, this left guard situation. Yeah, come back. Stop putting the weight back on.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, but injuries you can't predict. Injuries, I think, were one of the key things last year, weren't they, for us? And it just goes to the difference between the Super Bowl and not winning a Super Bowl is probably injuries. And so maybe the only people in all of this that can defeat the Bucs actually are the Bucs. But we'll see how we get on. So our penultimate one, then, we're on Thursday Night Football. So we've had a short week against the Panthers, after the Panthers rather, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. But it is less time to prepare for the Ravens. 70%-ish of the Bucs UK members think this is a win. So it's a consensus. Yeah, so the Bucs UK faithful think at this point we're going into roughly the halfway season, 6-2. That doesn't feel like a thing that when you look at those first 4 games, you think, actually, I'd take 6-2 by the halfway point. Because overall, of course, that's looking pretty juicy. I'm not sure we're going to. Well, anyone would say we're going to finish 12-4. Well, especially there's 17 games, but that looks pretty good. But Adam, you had this one down as a loss. So what was your thinking?
Well, my thinking behind it is I just think we're going to be too confident. And again, just like the little slip against the Packers, I just think we would have won the last few games pretty comfortably, and then you know what it's like with the Bucs. We've all seen it before, snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. It could be one of those games where we just I don't know if underestimate is the word, but just not take it as seriously as we all would like to see them play. So I know, injuries aside, I really hope we don't lose this, but I think it'll come at the right point of the season again. That if we were to lose a game in a safe manner to kick us off in a winning direction, this would be another like midway almost type of game.
David, Ravens, do we need to be worried about them? They always seem to be up in contention.
Yeah, I think it's going to be better. It's going to be interesting to stop, see how our linebackers deal with the run into the edge and things like that. So I don't think it's going to be an easy one. And the one big thing always drives me Buccaneers on primetime TV. We don't have the greatest records there. And so a little bit like Adam, I put them down for a win. I think I put another loss later in the season. But there's just going to be 1 or 2 losses just when you don't expect it.
Yeah, exactly what I'm thinking. Just when you don't expect it, the team's playing really well, and then they just come up against the team. And you know what it's like that Taylor Heineke game, running quarterbacks. We just let them do whatever they want. And it's either the Red Sea defense, we're just letting them, there's wide receivers wide open, or we're letting the running back go 15 yards every play. So it's just going to be one of those frustrating games, I think.
D. White will have him. White will be all over him. He's not going to let him get away this time. He's going to be edge to edge.
I hope so.
I think we'll have warmed up by then. I really do, and I honestly think be a tough one, but I think we'll beat them.
No, I've not seen the uniform release alongside the schedule, so I don't know what we're wearing for what games. But this is the one. Hopefully, we're going to be all in pewter. That's what I want to see.
I don't like
you love
it,
Adam. You
I
know
don't like
you love it.
I don't like it. Give me the pewter and red or the pewter and white every day.
As long as you don't want that colour rush red stuff.
No.
We shall see. Okay, then. So the final one for us to preview this week is, of course, the game I think we all realised that got away from us, almost came back, and then unfortunately got away from us again. It is the Rams, and I think unfortunately the Bucs UK members are clearly a little bit bruised by that experience. Only a third think the Bucs are capable of pulling this one off. David, you feel like it's a bridge too far? I
think it's going to be close, and again, it's one of them. I don't mind losing in the regular season when we beat them in the playoffs this time. That's when it matters. And I think this is sort of one of those that could just go either way. The fact it's a late game for us in Tampa, it'll be all right. But I think it's just a close one, and it could be one of those that we just get edged out.
Pete, do you think is it as close as that, or is it going to be a bit more depressing?
I just worry. I mean, I still don't really rate Stafford as a quarterback. I know he's now won a Super Bowl and stuff, but I still don't really see him. He had so many dodgy years, but he seemed to fit their package quite well in their playbook and stuff. But for me, I just feel they've got so much confidence and so many weapons that it depends how the rest of the season's gone for them, whether they're still going to carry that confidence into this season, and by the time we play them, they're going to still have it, or whether the Super Bowl hangover is going to affect them and maybe we'll win this, but it'll be a shootout. I just think that they've got so many weapons with Cup and stuff that he just seems quite difficult to control, even with our best players. He seems to be, if he can get going, he seems to really be a handful.
Yeah, I agree. Now, and Adam, before you start waving your loyalty card back round against me, when I did this, I hadn't been paying attention to the off season, and actually, I was reading earlier. Stafford's arm is not in a good way. He's got a sort of baseball-esque injury, hasn't he? Where he's struggling, he's in pain, throwing, and by all accounts, they're just going to, like, I presume they're going to jab him with 1,000 needles every game and just see what happens. But I could see by this point in the season, actually, it could be either falling off or falling off, couldn't it?
Yeah, well, I've got us to beat them here, but again, like the Ravens game, a bit different to the Ravens because they're not as good as the Rams. But I don't think it would matter too much if Stafford could throw or not. The way I look at these Rams and the coaches matchup, McVay has got our number. It just feels like they can scheme any player open at any given time, almost like have their way with us, which is so frustrating. And I just I hope this year that we come up like I'm putting a lot of hope into Todd Bowles this year, sorting out those magic safeties as he likes to do, and he can find a way of shutting that middle part of the field down, because how many wide open receivers can they find against us in one game? It's unbelievable.
I think you're all forgetting the Brady factor here. I really do. I think that if there's one game that Tom Brady wants to win, it's this one. He's got payback on his mind, and I think that he'll be psyching himself up for this one from week one, and I honestly believe we'll beat them. I'm quite confident about that one.
I'm happy with that, Phil.
Yeah.
So if what Kieron's saying is true, then we might be up against the backup quarterback, and then that'll be even worse. Because we're quite strong against backup.
It'll be a Pro Bowler against us.
Yeah.
As long as Matty don't blast no 55-yarder to win the game, I don't care.
I say if Kieron keeps this, we'll be picking first in the draft.
Yeah.
I've told you. I promise you. I mean, I'm not presenting next week. It's Alex, so you won't get to see my final picks. But email in, and I'm happy to share them. Suffice to say, the Bucs, I believe, end with a winning record and make the playoffs, and of course win the division. So the Bucs UK faithful are saying by this point we are 2, 4, 6, and 3. So coming into the Seahawks heading over to Munich. So this is the point at which we're all going to be getting our suitcases packed and heading over to the Alliance Arena. And I think this is going to be, I think everyone here is saying, this is going to be an interesting season where lots of games could go either way. Obviously, other than wins and losses, what success measures do you think? What looks good to you? For example, for me, I think if Leonard Fournette is still healthy at this point, and if he's still the number one back, then I think I'm happy that we are looking in good shape. What about you? Maybe I'll start with you, Pete.
I think that O-line, for me, if that O-line's come together, if Hennessy and Hainsey and Lever or whoever else, Gadecki, however you pronounce it, if people like that have managed to find their form in the O-line and they've managed to keep Brady safe, because we don't ever want to see him taking too many knocks, then I'll see that as a success. But halfway through the season, if he's not taking many.
A lot of our members get over to Tampa. I haven't been over to Tampa for a while. This is my chance to see Brady playing live as a Buck, and I'm sure it is probably for lots of you guys as well, and you guys watching of our members. Adam, this is huge, keeping Brady upright, isn't it?
Massive,
massive. Gabba in Munich.
Oh well, I know a few of you know, but my wife is due to have twins just after Munich, and I'm still going. I'm not missing seeing Brady. I can't not go to see him live. But we got it.
And just to clarify this for the people at home, Adam, this is children 3 and 4 on the way as well.
Children 3 and 4. Yeah.
So yes.
So excited! Can't wait.
Mrs. Adam, you deserve a medal. We'll make sure he picks you up something nice in duty free. Don't worry.
Yeah. But if I'm going to cry, I'm going to cry as hard as I've ever cried before. If Brady gets battered in like week 8 or something, and then we don't get to see him in Germany, I'm going to cry like I've never cried.
Yeah, I mean that's allegedly that's the reason why we're going to Munich, isn't it? Because he came out of retirement. There were talk of it being the Chiefs, and was it going to be Bucs Chiefs, and then of course that got moved to Sunday Night Football Week 4 when he was back. But what's the halfway measuring stick for you, Adam? What are you looking for in the Bucs?
Oh, I'm looking for two things, I suppose. I'm looking for Todd Bowles to finally sort out this defensive scheme where we seem to, like, almost every other plays a wide open receiver. And another thing I'm looking for is a little bit more creativity on offense. I want to see some trick plays. I know it might be pie in the sky, and I know it might be, a bit unrealistic, but I'm desperate just to see a little bit of variation. I don't want to see a run on first down every single first down. Just change it up once, please. But I don't know. I think we're going to be in good shape, and as long, I know you can't predict injuries. As long as we're healthy, I think we're in real good shape.
I think first and 10 up the gut. Go on, Phil. What does success look like for our president?
I think you nailed it. To be quite honest, Leonard Fournette. I mean, if the O line's doing okay, then Leonard Fournette will be okay. But if they're not, I'm with you on this 100%. He is I
think we've got to be able to run the ball. To
Yeah.
take the pressure. Otherwise, if our O linemen, like you say, Peter, they've got their ears pinned back on every single play against linemen coming hard at them, it's not going to end well in the long term, is it?
No.
I mean, Wirfs, he's locked down. He's not letting anyone through. But the others, unfortunately, aren't superhuman. So as much as we want it to be Avengers Assemble, it's not quite going to be quite like that. David, what about the other side of the ball on the defense? Kind of what do you want to see? I mean, Adam talked about scheming and open receivers, but is there a particular player or thing you want to see?
Well, obviously, mentioned him earlier, JTS actually really making his mark this season. And again, actually, a lot of last season, we were close to an awful lot of sacks, didn't quite get there. And I think we need to get home a lot more this year with some of the quarterbacks that we're up against this year. I think, that extra little yard of speed of penetration, get Barrett in there, a bit more involved in making plays. And Hicks as well, building that D line. But again, we mentioned it so many times, communication in the backfield, and actually doing it. I do wonder actually whether Todd Bowles feels a bit burned from that last play in the Rams game, whether he will actually blitz so much on some of those big plays, really still go all out, or actually really try and modify his game a bit, because everyone looks for us to sort of come hard blitzing now and playing those short passes. Or will we actually change our defense at all?
Yeah, it's a good point. That's a good point.
An interesting point I thought was this JTS thing. I thought people were very hard on him last year. I think people ought to forget that when we drafted him, he hadn't played for 12 months. And he was a COVID sort of dropout, wasn't he? And he was always, the previous up to that, the man was a monster. Absolutely. A giant of a player. And I think this year is going to be his year. Really is going to be a big player.
I hope so. I hope Shaq can take some of the pressure and leave him a few opens.
If the NFL are watching this, top 100 player, you say. Yeah.
Good shout.
Okay. Well,
I hope between them, because last year we had JPP was sort of banged up and injured, that I think people weren't worrying about him as much, and they were shutting Shaq down because they knew that he wasn't going to maybe break through. Whereas I think this year with JTS and with Shaq, both, they're going to be going balls out. I think that we should break through. He should be able to break through, because you think with JTS, someone's got to actually think about keeping him back, because we saw in preseason he was so quick off the mark. Sometimes he was too quick, that he would get to the quarterback and the quarterback would have taken that step forward and he's shooting past him.
I can't wait to see. Oh, go on, Kieron, go on.
No, I was just going to say, it's just nice to have football back, isn't it?
Oh, it is. It feels right. It just feels right.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but I am so excited to see Vita Vea and Akeem Hicks together. It's going to be a wrecking ball. If you think Sue's a big fella, he's paying massive, absolute giants.
Good luck running on the Bucs.
Oh, I know. Good luck indeed.
I'm looking forward to seeing Rashad White. I want to see him catching balls out of the backfield and just cutting through people. I think that's going to be one of those bits that we've been missing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let me ask you a little question. All of you, ask all of you a question. A lot has been made about like Leonard Fournette's weight. Does that bother any of you? I want him to put weight on.
Yeah.
When you go Vaughan and White to sort of dive in and give him a break, I want him to be as robust as possible. It doesn't bother me. It must be media talk that they like doing
The
this.
thing is that you watched in the Super Bowl winning season, he was running people over left, right, and centre. If he puts on a bit of weight, he's only going to keep doing that more.
Exactly.
That's what you're going to see, a wrecking ball of Leonard Fournette come smashing through the field.
Fat Lenny. They're getting Fat Lenny.
Don't say that around Mariana, whatever you do. You'll have Fat Lip Adam otherwise.
Handsome Lenny.
You've got to remember, I think Leonard Fournette is one of the most mature players we've had at running back for a long while. I mean, emotionally mature, because he is still actually really quite young. And he hasn't got a great deal of experience. So there's not a lot of wear on the tires, as the cliche goes. So I think carrying a little bit of extra weight, if he is, actually, as Pete says, just gives him a bit more sort of a bulldoze mentality. And I don't think he is. I think we touched on this, didn't we, a bit last week with Rock. And Rock's Riley's been up to training camp and seen it up close. He was saying, yeah, maybe when he first turned up, he was a little bit over. But by the time training camp goes through, it had gone.
I don't think running around in that heat, you could keep the weight on for long, could you anyway?
I think
running in a sauna.
But the backup running backs is going to be interesting, sharing that load again. We've always sort of struggled to really find that 2 and 3 running back.
I think Rojo sort of was a bit sulky, wasn't he, when it came to being number 2? So it never felt like he ever really sort of
didn't give it his all.
He didn't take to it very well.
And whenever he sort of made a mistake and there was a fumble, he was just benched. He was never trusted to be brought back into the game, was he?
When he came out to college, that was always his big sticking point, fumbling the ball. It was always his problem. And that's one of the things that I think, doing in the end. But
Arians will be set up in the gods, so he won't be able to bench anyone. And we'll see. So that's part 1 of our season predictions. The Bucs, according to our members, are 6-3. Things aren't looking too bad. We're about to have some fun in Munich, and next week with Alex and a few other Bucs UK members, you'll get to hear more. And hopefully it all pans out well. So thank you, Pete, Adam, Phil, and David. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you to Bucs Report for their help in promoting our podcast and our social media channels. I say in the comments section, if you've made it this far, you clearly care. So make sure you tell us how you think and who, and just make sure no one gives out my address, and we'll be all right. So thank you. We'll see you all next time, and go Bucs.
Go Bucs.